Hey fellas, so you have your MGTOW mindset and you've used it to develop your own career, have your own place, and be financially stable, where you're managing your money pretty well, and because you're making about $34,000 US dollars or its equivalent after taxes a year. If you're doing that, then you're automatically in the top 1% of income earners in the world. So women in the rest of the world find you desirable. Just like how the women in the United States find the top 20% of income earners in this country most desirable, the women in the rest of the world will find you most desirable. Um, so you have those things in place and you're looking to get a wife, a traditional wife, a woman who's fit, feminine, friendly, young, and exotically beautiful. Um, and the pickings are slim in the United States because these women here tend to be looking at the top 20% of American income earners. So the pool is significantly depleted here in the United States for you. Um, you go you the pool is not like that in the rest of the world because you're highly desirable by women, hypergamous women all over the world. Um, you decide to look for a wife. And I say that you with a purpose because the passport bros who go just to have a good time, and that's cool. But my thing is more about finding wives, um, traditional wives. So you decide to like go overseas. There are a few things you need to look for, be aware of, um, because there are scammers everywhere. Even here in the United States, there are scammers. Even a lot of these women are chasing the top 20% of men. A lot of them are scammers. All right, they're looking for a handout or whatever. Same thing everywhere else in the world. But just like the top 20% of men in the United States, you being the top 1% of income earners in the world also have to be diligent and be smart about your money and your safety and things like that. So if a woman, you meet somebody online and somewhere in the conversation they ask you for money to pay for their phone bill so they could continue talking to you, walk away from that situation because 9 times out of 10 they're scamming you. It's a scam, and you need to hold women accountable. They need to show that they truly desire you, and they're willing to make an effort to continue getting to know you and to communicate with you without your help. So you got to keep that in mind. That's a red flag. Usually it's a scam. Walk away. No matter how interesting that conversation is and how much you feel that they're into you, walk away from that situation. Don't simp out on that at all because that's you're going down a rabbit hole on that one when things to a far more uh, dangerous place. So walk away from that. Second, if you're talking to you to these people and then you want it like you start like you met them online, you exchange WhatsApp or whatever platform you're using, and you want to talk and you want to video conference with them. You want to talk to them over video. But what comes up is maybe a space or a dark place where you could barely see the person, or it's a video, a pre-recording. Walk away. That's a scam. A lot of times it's men um, posing, and if sometimes you will see it come back. Like if you delete or block them, and all of a sudden you unblock it like a month or so later, you see some old dude somewhere. Usually Ghana, how it has the biggest scammers, like the most scammers in on these dating apps. So if you can avoid Ghana at all costs, you've gotten past all that, right? That red flag, and you're communicating with this woman, and she's always in like one room, like a controlled setting. Uh, it's kind of artificial feeling. You communicate, you're laughing, you're having a good time, but she's never anywhere else but in a one room. She doesn't go out. She doesn't have friends. She doesn't have family. Nobody's like walking across the camera. She's no, she's not introducing you to anybody. Um, that's a red flag because that's not a normal conversation. When a woman is interested in you, they want to show you um, their world so you could be part of it, even if it's virtual, right? Avoid that. Avoid spending real money for virtual dates and crap like that, especially if you haven't been there, and especially if you haven't really seen members of the family. And I'll give you a couple examples. When I went before I went to Sudan, the woman that I went to see in Sudan, she would communicate with me every day. She went to work. While traveling to and from work, she will video call me so I could see the place. She's introduced me to some of her friends, her colleagues at work, especially when they go out to dinner or lunch. Um, I've spoken to her sisters. I've even done some grammatical correction, like English correction for one of her sisters who was preparing for an English test as part of her training to be a doctor as well. So I interacted with her friends and family, and it felt more organic. It seemed more organic. From a logical perspective, it was more organic. It was more natural. Um, it made sense. And I went to visit her, and because our relationship didn't work out, but we're still friends today. She's now in Saudi Arabia, where she's gotten a specialty, and I've spoken about her before. Um, so that's what you're looking for. When I met my fiance, it was similar to that. We got by all the other stuff. She never asked for money for the internet. Sometimes I wouldn't talk to her for weeks because she didn't have access to the internet. But she was always consistent. When she had internet, she will contact me, or I will contact her. And during our communications and stuff, I was able to talk to see her aunts, her uncles, her cousins, see some of her friends, because there was a language barrier between the two of us. I couldn't really communicate with some of her friends and family. But I got to build a relationship with one of her uncles who happens to be a minister. And he spoke very good English. And build a relationship with him while I was building a relationship with her. So it felt organic, it was natural, and I was comfortable in going to visit that country. And he took the time to explain some of the culture and the traditions and things like that before I showed up and when I showed up. And the family members held her accountable for a lot of things too, and that made me feel safe, and I was safe. So always do your due diligence when you're looking at traveling overseas. Don't be an idiot, because you're highly desirable, and there are a lot of criminals everywhere in the world. And you can be one of those statistics that end up getting drugged, getting killed, getting robbed, getting beaten half to death, and getting robbed. So be aware of those things. If you have any questions, ask it in the comment section down below. Like and subscribe. Share the video so other passport bros can be aware, or people that's like just putting their toe in to see, to test the waters, to have an understanding that you can't be mindless and stupid about any relationship, especially when you're traveling outside of your comfort zone to other parts of the world. Um, but you already have everything in your favor. You're already in the top 1% of income earners in the world. Women want you, and you basically get to pick what you're looking for in fit, feminine, friendly, young, and exotically beautiful women. All right, but you don't want to be an idiot about it and put yourself in situations without doing some due diligence and understanding some of these dynamics. The MGTOW mindset should already prepare you for some of this stuff, and common sense stuff, should also help perpetuate that further, where you can make some logical decisions when it comes to traveling overseas as a passport bro. And who knows? Maybe your relationship will turn out just to be as successful as mine, and hopefully mine will continue to remain successful. Um, if you have any questions, again, ask it in the comment section down below. Y'all have a good day.